Okay, good morning. We are live. I am live on Facebook. I believe this morning we're streaming, and it's time for the Thursday morning legal update. I'm going to try and do this inside of 10 minutes because I've determined or I've found out that you can upload the videos to LinkedIn as opposed to using a link to YouTube if it's less than 10 minutes. But today I'm going to talk about, and I've gotten a lot of questions about advisors and mentors and advisory boards and using that for your business. So for people that are coming out of this and they're getting back to work and they're still working, I often recommend to my business clients that they consider creating an advisory board for their business, or at least have one or two advisors or mentors that are available to them that participate in their business, that know their business intimately. Now, there are services out there. Things that come to mind are Advisory Cloud. There's Soundboard. There's several of them, and there's also entrepreneur organizations like EO and Vistage, and some of those that you can join. Some of the costs of joining are high, but the members and participants that I know say they get much more back than they pay. So that's one way to go about it. But some business owners should consider, and if they have people that they work with, just forming their own advisory board. I find that business owners tend to, what's the word? They tend to, bounce ideas off of people. They're asking friends, they're asking people for different opinions about things, but those people don't necessarily have a good grip on their business, on what they're doing on a regular basis in their day-to-day operations. So it's something to consider. So you might go to your CPA who owns your business, who knows your business. You might go to a business lawyer like myself, who you have a relationship with, or you may go to other business owners. Maybe you form a bit of a roundtable amongst business owners where you can. And there's a lot of business institutes that do this, particularly the family business institutes that have roundtables of not necessarily same industry, but people that own their own business, and they can share ideas, and they agree that to keep it, between you guys and your group, and give you advice. But I think the problem is, a lot of times, especially if we are solopreneurs, is that we try to do things kind of on our own. We do our own research, which is fine, and we read things online, and we interact with people that we know asking for advice. But at the end of the day, there's no cohesiveness to what we do and the advice we get on a regular basis. So, you may go to a networking group, hear about a book that you read. You may get advice from certain people who are in marketing and public relations or technology, or, business consulting, business advisors, people that teach you about networking. If you had a few of these people together on a regular basis who knew you and you knew them, and you could share ideas, you'll find that your ability to deal with issues that may have been problems before, but are more easily um, overcome, or maybe even avoided. And you're able to be more creative in what you do, because people that aren't running your business day to day often can take a step back and give you a clear perspective on things, as you can, I'm sure, for other people's businesses, because you're not emotionally involved in the day-to-day operations. I'm the same way. I find it easier to give clients opinions and evaluations of their own business and the things that they're doing and the decisions they should make than my own practice. It's just human nature. So that's the issue that I wanted to cover today, was the thought about creating an advisory panel, advisory board. It doesn't have to be 8 or 10 people. It could be 1 or 2 people. It could be one person who the two of you rely on each other to be advisors. But I would really like to see you go with at least 2 or more, because I think better ideas to bounce things off of gives you a better result. So that's today's legal update. I'm Mitch Beinhacker. I'm a corporate attorney, a business advisor, and an estates lawyer in Clark, New Jersey. And I do a lot of tax planning as well. I also host the Accidental Entrepreneur podcast, which is available on, somebody was asking me yesterday, Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. If you know of anybody who's interested in being a guest, you can contact me if they're a business owner or an influencer, or they work in the small business space, entrepreneur space. Always interested in talking to people. And next week, I think we're going to talk about buying a business, what you need to go through, because there's probably people coming out of this who have been laid off, or maybe they choosing not to go back to work. They don't want to work in the city. They're saying, you know what, let's buy a business. There are good ways to go about that, and there are not so good ways to go about that. There's ways to limit your risk and how you evaluate the business and the finances of the business, because we're not talking public corporations with public information. Do you work with a business broker or not? Do you look at franchises? So we're going to cover that next week, next Thursday. So again, I'm Mitch Beinhacker. You can find out information about me at beinhackerlaw.com. And thank you for listening.